Burning, okay, which is this film from Lee Chang-dong, Chang-dong Lee if you want to anglicise the name, a Korean filmmaker who made Oasis, Secret, Sunshine, Poetry. And this is an extraordinary sort of tale of love and loss, which entrances and unsettles in pretty much equal measure. It's based on a short story by Haruki Murakami, and the story begins with a young man, Jong-soo, played by Yoo Ah-hin, whose mother abandoned the family years ago. His father is in trouble with the law. He's having to look after their rundown farm in Paju. One day he meets a young woman, Haimi, Jong-seo, who he doesn't recognise her immediately. She's outside a store. She's trying to entice customers to come in. And she sort of starts making eyes at him, and he can't understand why. And she says, "Don't you remember me? We were friends. We grew up in the same village." She asked him to go for a drink. She's enigmatic. He's almost sort of stunned and catatonic. He says very little. He's very, very shy. She tells him that she's going away, and she says, "Would you come to my apartment and look after my cat, feed my cat while I'm away?" And he goes to the apartment, from which you can see the Namsam Tower, which is a sort of landmark, and he's entranced by the apartment because he's living out in this rural area. And there's a moment of intimacy, and then she's gone. And he's looking after the cat, but he never sees the cat. He goes to the apartment, he's feeding the cat. There is evidence that the cat's there, but he never actually sees the cat. When she returns, it's with Ben, played by Stephen Yeun, who's this wealthy yuppie of no fixed position, although he's got an upmarket Gangnam apartment. He's very hard to pin down. At one point he says, "I'm here, I'm there." This is, he's all over the place. And he's a mystery, and his relationship with Haimi is a mystery. And then she seems to vanish, and then everything starts to unravel. And it's one of those films that raises all these questions, like he goes to the apartment to feed the cat, but he never sees the cat. Was there ever a cat? He suspects Ben of being involved in the disappearance of Haimi, but is that suspicion real, or is it just jealousy and paranoia? The film plays with class struggles. On the one hand, it's about the divide between rich and poor, between mobile and immobile, between rural and urban, between things that are here and present and things that are vanished and gone away. Ben is privileged. He drives this flashy car. He smokes pot. He burns down barns. That's his pastime. And yet the police never touch him. And yet our anti-hero, Jong-soo, gets pulled over by the police when he's not doing anything at all. And there's a moment in the film that recalls Lost Highway, that recalls that moment in Lost Highway when the mysterious figure says, "Ring me, I'm at your home right now." And it was really strange watching it. At the first, it seemed to be one kind of movie, and then it gently turned into a different kind of, almost like a mystery thriller. And the thing it reminded me of in terms of its atmosphere, there is a film that nobody has seen, but I'm going to cite it anyway, by Fernando Trueba, called The Mad Monkey. Originally, The Dream of the Mad Monkey is the novel it's based on. And I love that film because it's so weirdly mysterious and weirdly spine-tingling. And Burning cast such a strange spell. When I came in this morning and I was talking to other people on the show, and a couple of whom have seen it, and I was saying, there's a moment in the film in which our main character finds something that you think, oh, that's a clue, but is it a clue because have I forgotten the scene in which that's a clue? Is it or is it nothing at all? And it did the thing that I really want a movie to do. It completely captured me. It completely took me into its world. I was struggling to understand the story. On the one hand, it is about obsession, and it is about class, and it is about memory, and it's about the unreliability of memory, and it's. You could interpret it as a psycho thriller. You could interpret it as a murder mystery that may not have a murder in the middle of it. You could interpret it as a sort of twisted love story, which may not actually have a love story at the middle of it. You can interpret it as a film about somebody feeding a cat that may not actually exist. It's really extraordinary, and it absolutely knocked me sideways. And in a week in which Green Book and Can You Ever Forgive Me and everything else is out, I'm going to annoy the heck out of you.
I haven't even asked you yet.
Go on.
What's the movie of the week then?
Burning.
Really? Is there?
Really?
And is there a cat? Oh.